Thomas Hallinan. I am a psychologist, and I have been working as a psychologist in some capacity since 2006, which has been 17 years.
All right, so I have a couple of questions today about psychotherapy. First being, what is psychotherapy?
So the root word is psyche and therapy, which in Greek is effectively treatment of the soul or healing of the soul. The way they use soul, I think, is more how we would think of mind. So it would be healing of the mind, which I think is a broad but accurate definition. I think a more technical definition would be the application of psychological theory, methods, concepts to ease human suffering.
All right, and how would psychotherapy help me?
It depends. I think it can range from, and I think what most people initially are looking for is symptom reduction. They have anxiety, they want that to go away or they want it to get better. They're depressed, they want that to go away or get better. But often it is problems of living. So like issues in relationships, issues with work, issues with school, issues with just like moving your life forward in the way that you want to. And so I think that probably can help most people, and I think it's often most helpful when a person's sort of gotten to the edge of what they can really do themselves, and they feel like they do need that extra help to kind of cross the line or get better, or things have gotten really, really bad, and despite everything that they've been trying, they're not improving, they're actually getting worse, and that's often when people come in to see us.
Okay, gotcha. How would I prepare for my first session?
So we would love it if you could complete the paperwork on the website, and the reason for that is that we will definitely look at it. And it's really, really helpful because in our first meeting, normally I would need to gather a lot of information about your history, about what's going on with your problem, about your family, about your education, about what you do for a living. And if I get that ahead of time, I can ask more pointed questions, more specific questions about you, and we can spend a lot more time talking about like the nuances of your situation. I always look at it and it's incredibly helpful. I know sometimes it's tedious to finish, but it's really, really something that makes that first visit go a lot faster.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. How do you set up counseling goals, and what does success look like to you?
So again, it's a very it depends kind of question. And I think for most people, it often is symptom reduction. You know, I have anxiety, I want that to get better. I'm depressed, I want that to get better. Often it gets more complex. You know, a person might be depressed in part because they hate their job. A person might be depressed in part because their relationship is struggling. Or a person might be depressed in part because they're over relying on substances to kind of deal with depressed mood. So it really gets tailored to the person and really what they want. And I try to be really collaborative in what are the issues that you want to work on, what are the goals then that would kind of come from those issues. So it's really dependent on what you want to work on and kind of how you think about your problems.
Okay, perfect. What is your general philosophy and approach to helping?
So my program in graduate school is pretty unique, and psychology comes out of philosophy, where psychiatry comes from medicine, which comes from science and biology. And so my graduate program was heavy on philosophy, and I think that it's useful because a lot of the questions that philosophers have been asking are questions that we still kind of ask about life now, including, you know, what is the good life? How should I be living? You know, loneliness, existential sort of questions about meaning. How do I find meaning? And so I do rely heavily on my history and experience with philosophy, but I also did training after graduate school in different methods of therapy. So I feel like I'm pretty eclectic, and I really try to tailor what I'm going to do to your issue, your problem, and what you want to work on. And so I feel like one of the things I can offer is like a breadth of different styles of therapy with different theoretical orientations that are really more tailored to like the specific problem that a person wants to work on. I try to be very, very collaborative. And I think that I really enjoy my work because I think the discussions that we're having are about your life. And really a lot of the things that we talk about in our day-to-day life are pretty boring, are pretty meaningless. But in therapy, what we're discussing for you is the most important thing we could be talking about, which is your life. And I find that incredibly rewarding, and I feel really privileged to be able to do this work.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.